So we're going to go ahead and get started. If anybody comes in late, no big deal. The whole idea here for me with this Lunch and Learn is I love small businesses. I love to see them thrive. I love entrepreneurship. I love to see people grow in their passions. That's why I started BNI 11 years ago. That's why I constantly like to network with other businesses, because I do believe that it starts with, somebody having a skill, right? And then becoming a business person, and then all the things that come up as a business person, we're just not always gifted with, right? So I wanted to be able to bring these skill sets to my people and hopefully see some value of that come to you. And that's the whole idea behind the Lunch and Learn. So with Alora and Acquire Marketing, as a real estate agent, I get called a million times a day about how we can get better found in the search engines. A lot of it is a load of, a lot of it is just trying to get, and it always comes with a super high price tag, right? And you don't really know what the heck they're doing. Being a techie, my history in technology goes back to when Yahoo had the first pay-per-click advertising. So I'm very familiar with it, and I like it. And I think it's a great way to kind of move yourself in front of somebody that has just a big footprint and kind of get found easily. But it's always changing, right? So, if it started with Yahoo, went to Google AdWords, and then it goes to something else, and it goes to something else. So it's always changing and evolving. And as real estate agents trying to get found, we want to find where we can kind of stand out. I found something new this week. Alora and I were prepping for this. I was like, hey, what's that? And so I'm on it, and I'll share that with you once I get it all figured out, because it's more of a Google certified thing. It's expensive, so we'll see how it goes. But usually that leading edge gives you an advantage over some of the other people. And then when they catch up, you got to find something new. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to Alora, and she is the person, the guru at Acquire Marketing, and she's going to kind of go over what she covers. So take it away, Alora.
All right. Yes. Like Dan said, my name is Alora. I'm with Acquire Marketing. So what we're going to cover today is kind of what is online marketing? How do we do that? How do we get people to come to us? So that first part is actually showing up when you're searched. The other one is driving that traffic to your website. So how many of you actually have Googled yourself before, either by your name or by your company name, just to see where you're sitting? Some people probably have experienced like, oh, wow, I'm not showing up. I need to do something about that. Other people may be like, oh, look, there's me. I see myself. So that's the difference between weak and strong online presence. A weak online presence is you don't rank high in the results, or you just simply don't show up at all on that first page when you search your name or your business name. The next one is not having a Google business page. My little Zoom window keeps covering my screen. The other one would be no contact information or inconsistent contact information throughout your different accounts. No reviews or very little reviews. Not having all the accounts you need. So no Bing Places, no Apple Maps Connect, and no Yelp. And then the last one is either your website is outdated or it's just really hard to use and doesn't really have good user experience on it. And then relying on social media alone to try and drive traffic. The next one is strong online presence. So that strong online presence is how people find you really easily. The first one is the Google business page. You have that set up, and then when someone Googles you by your name or your business name, that Google business page will show up. All contact information is consistent across all platforms. You have plenty of reviews. You have all of the other accounts such as Bing, Apple, Yelp, and they're all claimed and set up. The website you have is clean and easy to use, and a bonus would be having a blog feature on it. And so most importantly, no one will be able to beat you on a search of your name or your business name. So the first one we're going to look a little bit more into is that Google business. You can see there's a little screenshot here of what acquire marketings look like. The name is up at the top with your website linked, your business hours, and then down at the bottom would be your reviews. The next one would be Bing Places. You can see it's pretty similar to Google Business. Name up at the top, the website is linked, your business information is displayed, and then you got your reviews down at the bottom. But a big piece with Bing Places is you can actually link it to your Google business. So you really only have to update information in one of them, and then the information automatically gets updated into the other. Next would be Yelp. Again, business name is up at the top, website is linked, your business information, and then you got your reviews. And a helpful thing with Yelp is if you don't have a Bing account or an Apple Maps account, Yelp will syndicate information to those platforms to try and fill that gap. Finally is Apple Maps. This one is a little different from the other ones because Apple Maps generally displays only on mobile. So you'll still have your business name up at the top, except this time the link won't be for the website. The link will be for your phone number. Then your business information, and then the website down at the bottom. And a nice thing with Apple Maps, like I said with Yelp before, is Yelp will put information into Apple Maps so you don't miss out on that audience. So the next is going to be that web traffic. How exactly can we get more web traffic to our website?
Laura, I just want to pipe in here and not miss the significance of those three things that you just covered. So, you know, across the search networks, I would say somewhere around 60 to 70% of the people are actually searching on their phones for a place, and that number is going up, right? Show of hands, how many of you have asked either Siri or asked Google or searched on your map on your phone for a location and then mapped it? Just show of hands in the video here. Okay. Some people, not at all, but it's starting to become something very prevalent, right? Show me a house cleaner near me would be an example, or show me the closest McDonald's. No, I never asked that. I'm never. But those types of things and those first three items cover both Google, Apple, and then I don't know who the heck is binging it, but I know there's a lot of Microsoft people that are. But you know, just the significance of those three profiles, I think, in it of themselves, by themselves, if you don't have that set up, that's a really big thing to do, and to get set up and detailed, and then keep them active. Okay, that's my 2 cents.
All right. So kind of jumping back in. With that web traffic, there's two primary ways to make yourself more seen and help drive traffic. The first one is SEO, which is search engine optimization. So with this, they're organic results. This is how you appear on the first page when someone Googles you, or like Dan said, Bing, but who uses that much anymore? What it helps is it helps bring your site authority and ranking, which essentially means you'll start showing up higher and higher. And when you boost your SEO, you do this through relevant content on your website. You have effective site indexing. You have really good page speed. You also have backlinks throughout your website. And your website is very user-friendly and has really good user experience. All of these are fantastic to have, but they take quite a while to get going. The faster route would be pay-per-click ads, which is also known as Google Ads. You kind of bypass the waiting stage with these, and you force Google to show your results on the first page every time. And you do that by having that ad up at the top. It shows up when people are searching for topics that are about you. And this is done through keywords. They can be generally inexpensive, and it helps you grow your audience through different types of ads. Again, these are fantastic to have and they work very well. This is the speedy version. So the different types of ads, mind you, there are a lot more than these four, but these are the only four I'm going to cover. The first one is search ads. These are the ones that appear in Google right at the top of the page. The next one will be remarketing ads. These are more of those picture ads that you might see if you go to like King 5 News and you always see the ads on the sidebar. Those are display ads and or remarketing ads. The other one would be shopping ads, which are primary for retailers, and then video ads. Those are the little ads that you find at the beginning of YouTube videos. Some offer skipping options, some don't. So that first one that I'm going to go a little closer into is search ads. This is a search that I did, pediatric dentist near me. We can see that there are 2 ads on this page currently. This means that this particular search and keyword will be really expensive because there's already other people that are using it. But if I do a different search, do pediatric dentists sedate their patients, we can see that there are no ads on this page currently. So if a client of mine was a pediatric dentist, they could have a blog feature on their website, and then this question, do pediatric dentists sedate their patients? We would have an ad at the top of the page that goes to that blog post explaining that a little more. The next one is remarketing and display ads. So like I said with King 5 News, just go to any website on the internet and you'll tend to find these little picture ads on the side. These are the display and or remarketing ads. This particular one that showed up for me is for Harry and David. This is because I recently went to their website, and so a cookie got placed on my device, which means I will be getting shown these ads for about 1.5 years. And the same would happen for your clients. So what exactly do these ads do for web traffic? This is an example of an account that I had worked on. You'll see that in the beginning, it's rather flat, little tiny audience coming through. Once the search ads and the remarketing ads hit, it just shot right up and they started getting lots of traffic coming through. And you can see that in this one particular time frame, they got almost 1,500 clicks, and the average cost per click was only 35 cents. This little piece over here where it has recommendations and the optimization score, these are really important, but I'll cover that a little more in a few slides. This is another example of an account that had already been optimized, and this piece right at the beginning is before the account had been created, but this is for roughly 1 month. You can see that they've gotten over 1,000 clicks, which means 1,000 people went to their website. Their average cost per click is only 9 cents. So they only spent about $106 to have over 1,000 people go to their website. So going into that optimization score, one of the biggest questions that I've noticed is people ask, are Google Ads one of those things where once you've set them up, can you just leave them be? Just let them run and do their thing. Unfortunately, that's not the case. One of the things that we do is we make sure that we go in and regularly create ads. You can have current ads, like for example, if you're wanting to own your name because you're not showing up in your rankings. And what we do is we make sure that there are new versions of those ads constantly being created. So Google recognizes them and says, oh, it's a new one. We got to make sure to show this. We also analyze the performance. So if we notice one isn't running well, we'll make tweaks to it and tweaks as needed to the keywords. And then back to that optimize, like I said on the previous page, we make sure that the accounts are always optimized to 100%. So Google Ads, unfortunately, are one of those things you cannot set and forget. That's why you need someone in there taking a look at them all the time. And here at
Unless
Acquire,
unless you like to spend tons and tons of money,
yeah,
right? Because
tons and
yeah, if you
tons.
just set it and forget it, you will spend a lot of money.
Yeah. Here at Acquire, for us to go in there and make sure your accounts are running perfectly, we charge $2.99, and that includes setting up all of the online presence stuff as well. One of the things that we want to offer here at Acquire, if you guys choose to learn more about this, we will give a complimentary audit of all of your online assets for anyone that's interested. Any questions?
Yeah, I want to open it up for Q&A. We covered very, very quickly a lot of stuff. So does
Yes.
anybody have any questions out there? Janelle.
So in the past, I will engage and look at what's going on with our Google ads, and I'll watch it for a bit, and then I just get lazy and I don't. And I assume that my the person that I outsource that work to is doing their job. But I can't remember the actual language, but we would have the word search set up, and then I found that Google had placed a bunch of words under my words that they were charging me for that really were not bringing anything of value to me. It was just spending my money. And I think we tightened that up by requiring it to be an exact language. So if I say paver driveway or driveway paver, that's fine, those two words, but not when it's concrete. Like, they would put these other words under there. What is that? How do you explain that? Or how do you recommend avoiding the unnecessary spend that happens with the word searches?
Yeah, so with those, how you show up is based on the keywords that you pick. And like you said, there are 3 different ways to specify those keywords. There's broad match, which might have been what you had. And so, for example, with a broad match of like paving a driveway, if all of that was broad match, the way Google recognizes that is if someone typed into the search, as long as they had paving and driveways anywhere in the search, then you would appear.
Okay.
With exact, what you're forcing Google to recognize is the only words in their search is paving a driveway. And then the one that's right in the middle, that's kind of like the little sweet spot, would be phrase match, which means as long as their search has paving a driveway perfectly in line with each other, there's no words in between. There can be anything before it and there can be anything after it, but those 3 specific words, whatever the keywords are, is in line with each other.
Okay.
And a little additional step for this, and this comes with monitoring the account as well. Google will offer the searches that someone typed in for when your ad appeared or when someone clicked on your ad. And so when you look through those searches, if one of them does not seem relevant for you, you can add it to a do not show list, or this is irrelevant to me. So it will never show for that kind of search again.
Yeah, it takes a little time to set things out and to exclude things, but yet having the regular management of it. Laura, we meet twice a month. Is that right? We review our stuff bi-monthly and look at how the traffic has gone and eliminate. I just got hammered on schools in school districts because people were searching that because of the current environment with going back to school. So I pulled those out. It isn't something that you can just set it and forget it. And it is good to have somebody kind of there managing, because it seems like it's almost like every week, but it usually is every 2 weeks we review. And just so you know, as we have different types of businesses here, right? I've got a plan to get Dan Edwards Realtor searched, right? Because I want people, if they're thinking, hey, I got to find Dan Edwards Realtor. So what I'm doing by doing that is I'm actually increasing my organic search too, because what happens is the relevance of Dan Edwards, they may either go to my Google My Business page, or they may go to one of my links underneath, and that starts to bring up just my organic search results. But then I also have the Eastside Real Estate team. And then in that same account, we can do some things like, find new construction on the east side, right? Where it's a very long tail keyword, very specific, in order to bring it in. So as you're thinking of a strategy, the reason why I brought Acquire here is because they've got a nice foundation. If you just do this foundational stuff of getting, when somebody's looking for Tina Mitchell, right? How does she get found? When somebody's looking for Erica Mears, how does she get found? When somebody's looking for a mortgage broker in Bellevue, that's step 2. So you have to, step 1 is getting your name recognition. As a lot of people, you want to have them find you and verify it. And I know Gloria is here watching, so she does architecture, right? So she may want to dig a little bit deeper, or find some people that are looking to do specific things, but just her company getting found, or her name, Gloria Chen Architecture, something like that, because people may want to just look in on folks and having that go. So it's like a two-part deal. All right. So any other questions?
Hi, this is Ashwin here. I have a question. So I'm not an expert in this, right? And I've been doing most of the rudimentary work and trying to manage things by myself. And I noticed and I figured out that that's not what I should be doing, right? I realized that. That's the first thing. That's the first thing, is the realization. So I got that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring in an expert. So the first question I have is, I have multiple businesses, right? One is kind of a startup. The other two are more established. When I say the other two are more established, one of them is more established and it's got a good Google presence. The other one's maybe a little bit of Google presence, but not much, right? So online presence, when I say online, when I say Google presence, I meant online presence. How much, from a business point of view, how much should I budget for this? For a startup versus an established company, how much should I budget for it?
Budget wise, that is completely on you. We recommend that you have at least a minimum of $200 that you're willing to spend toward ads, and that's to get you started, to get things going. Once you've gotten yourself established, we definitely recommend increasing that budget, just because with cost per click variances, if we do a certain ad and the cost per click is like, for example, $1.50, but we only have $2 a day dedicated to that one campaign, you may only get 1 click a day because it only shows for that time period until that first click, and then it doesn't show anymore. So I would say starting out, having at least $200 that you're willing to dedicate to ads would be a good budget, and then you could always increase once you're comfortable.
Great.
So, Laura, kind of the same with Ashwin. When you have multiple business platforms and all of your business platforms, you're elevating and running at a very high level. However, when you show up at an event, or you're running an event, or you're attending a networking event, you wear one hat. Mm-hmm. You're either this business or you're this business. Now, as your community gets to know you, they know that you run multiple businesses. So how does that work online? When you really want to show up with one hat, but you have multiple businesses? Do you have one Google that has everything, or how do you get people not confused?
Well, if you definitely want the distinction between the different businesses, I would say it's definitely best that each of them has their own. But when you have your account, since like you said, you wear the multiple hats and you do have ownership of all of those, you don't necessarily need a different Google account. So like the email you use to log in, you can have just one. But under your Google business account, you would have, for example, like 3 different locations. But each of those, when Googled, will show up as their own place.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting question, Tina, because I do know your conglomeration, Tina Mitchell Corp, and you've got all these kind of things going. So, but I do want to honor everybody's time. It's a lunch and learns, 30 minutes. It's good information. What I will do is I will upload this to YouTube. So if you want to go back and take a look at it, and I'll send you guys Alora's contact information so you can reach out. She'll reach out to you as well. And we will also send a survey. So if you would please, we'd love your feedback on this one. We want to make this really impactful. I want it to be a good, hearty lunch, right? Like get some good stuff and then get back to business. And it's Friday, so I know maybe like me, you're just going to take the rest of the day off. I'm just joking. But thank you guys all for being here. I really appreciate it. And we'll send you Alora's information. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time.